PlayStation series of consoles and handhelds are something that I never grew up with until recently. For majority of my life, I grew up with stuff from Nintendo and only Nintendo. Starting with owning a Game Boy SP and Nintendo DS as a kid, to owning nearly every single home console Nintendo produced, I thought my passion for gaming can be just settled with whatever is sold only on Nintendo. Until recently, with the interest of owning a PlayStation 5, that helped me branch out to other platforms for the first time ever. And it's with the PS5's built-in bundle game that made me realize how much I appreciate not just the PlayStation brand, but also gaming history as well. That and a little series called Kingdom Hearts, but that's for another time. Salutations people of the internet, welcome to the Database Network. In today's video, I'm taking a quick look at Sony PlayStation's built-in game that demonstrates the power of the PlayStation 5, Astro's Playroom. Released alongside the launch of the PlayStation 5 in 2020, Astro's Playroom serves as a tech demo that showcases the capabilities of the PS5 DualSense controller. These capabilities include the DualSense's adaptive triggers, as well as its gyroscopic motion controls, the controller's new touchpad, and adaptive feedback vibration. You can play with these features at any time by going to the control demo section of the title screen. Each stage you traverse through will demonstrate these controller features at a nice and easy pace. For two of the stages in each world, you'll navigate Astro through a series of platforming stages, using his laser feet as a hovering maneuver, a 1-2 punch with an attack button with a charge spin, along with an array of weapons to use, from a bow and arrow and a machine gun that shoots balls. Look at it. It's a little Nerf gun.
Look out! He's got an ion blaster!
No doubt this game made me love the DualSense controller. Meanwhile, two of the other stages within each world consist of Astro traversing through worlds using a mech that relies on the DualSense's motion controls and adaptive triggers. These consist of a monkey, a frog, a spaceship, and a giant ball that uses a touchpad to move around the track. All of these mechs feel very responsive, although there are times where using these mechs can get very frustrating. Like when I use the monkey suit in GPU Jungle, not only have to use the adaptive triggers, but also tilt the controller for the monkey to reach the next rock, and sections where you shake the controller for the monkey to swing and launch high up to the next rock. There's also these icy sections where the giant ball, where it took me a few tries to get this one puzzle piece because of its icy physics. Yeah, you can halt the ball to a break by pushing down the touchpad, but you're still gonna move the ball at some point. Thankfully, not all mechs are like this. The frog suit is fun and simple to control, and I adore traversing the spaceship using the adaptive triggers in SSD Speedway. And yes, each world in this game is based on the tech units found in the PlayStation 5, just to give players a sense of immersion of how powerful the current generation of consoles are today. CPU Plaza is your central hub, while we also get the stages that I mentioned in the past, GPU Jungle and SSD Speedway, as long as Cooling Springs being the PS5's fan, and Memory Meadow. Speaking of puzzle pieces, the collectibles in Astro's Playroom are so cool and filled with PlayStation history, it'll make any gamer feel nostalgic and blush at the same time. It's like revisiting your PlayStation favorites all over again, like unopening a new console on Christmas. One thing that I like about these collectibles here is that each world you go through filled with a set of PlayStation accessories, one of each generation. For example, the GPU Jungle would consist of PlayStation 4 era accessories, while the SSD Speedway would consist of PlayStation 2 era accessories. Each world ended with the main PlayStation console of that generation. There are also some PlayStation accessories that you could only find on the PlayStation Labo section of the CPU Plaza. This machine usually is coins that you eventually gather by breaking crates or destroying badniks. You could also find these neat Astro figures as well, but I never bothered those because the main collectibles in this game are the PlayStation consoles and accessories. That and puzzle pieces that fill up this large mural, illustrating PlayStation brand's long history of entertainment technology. And good lord, this game is filled with rich history of PlayStation. If you ever grew up with the PlayStation since 1995, you'll love every ounce of PlayStation reference in this game. Like within the caves of the GPU jungle, you can find this robot that's inside this coffin, dressed up as Alucard from Castlevania Symphony of the Night. At the start of SSD Speedway, you'll find Cloud Strife's Buster Sword from Final Fantasy VII, the first Final Fantasy game to be released on PlayStation in 1997. There's also this bot dressed as Dante from Devil May Cry, a bot that dressed like Crash Bandicoot, and he got these crates of mangoes and he's doing that signature dance.
Whoa! Slow down, sir!
And finally, look at this. It's Ape Escape. Remember that?
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Look, I mentioned before that I never grew up with the PlayStation brand of games, handhelds, and consoles, but that doesn't mean I was living under a rock and not know what these references are. Sony's PlayStation brand has as much of long and rich history that is if Nintendo, and there were a lot of games that made a smash hit thanks to the PlayStation, like the Crash Bandicoot series and Final Fantasy finally coming to the West. Now of course, I haven't mentioned a lot of stuff about the game because that's the kind of game you might want to experience yourself. Astro's Playroom only takes 4 to 5 hours to breeze through. Add 2 to 3 more hours if you're going for every collectible within the game and attempt to go for a platinum trophy, which is probably the only platinum trophy I'll ever earn. As for the other modes in this game, there's this speedrun section where you transport to a stage solely designed for speedrunning. Of course, I'm never good at these sort of things, so I never bothered going the fastest scored on the leaderboard, but I know it's something for a speedrunning community. The boss in this game is interesting. I even like the change in aspect ratios mid-fight. And that's all I'm gonna say about that cause the boss only goes down in 4 hits. This is probably considered to be the easiest game that you can platinum on PlayStation 5. While that's to be expected seeing this is just a tech demo to showcase the console's power and performance. If you have a PlayStation 5, you probably immediately went into playing this game already. Pray the restocks aren't a problem anymore. But anyways, what are your thoughts on Astro's Playroom? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you like it, subscribe to the database, and follow me on social media as seen here. This is CJ Styles from the Database Network, signing off.